almond cheese toasty and a pumpkin latte. Okay.
Don't think they had pumpkin lattes in wartime.
No. Jumping around a bit here.
Yeah.
I do like trains like this kind of old school
Oh, with the
compartment
compartments.
based. Yeah.
And she's reading Murder on the Orient Express. Probably not the most encouraging book to read on the Orient Express.
Anything from the trolley? Well, take
Take
the
the
lot.
lot. What was in the fourth one? What is it that Cho Chang says? 2 pumpkin pasties, please.
Is it Everest?
Yeah. Mount Everest. Yeah.
What's her face from Bridgerton there?
Do you have a room, please?
She looks like she could be in a Christmas movie, doesn't she?
Yeah.
It's hard to put your finger on, but there's Christmas
she's-
films have a certain feel, and
Well, she's got that red and green as well.
yeah, that's true.
I'm Joy. Welcome to my room.
Joy to the world.
So you haven't seen this, have you, Paul?
I've not seen this, no. And I've not really seen any of the build-up to it either, so...
Oh, okay. I watched it with the family on Christmas Day, but I'm intrigued to see it with you.
And the flesh will rise.
What?
Silurian, eh?
Yeah. Starseed, that's a type of bread, isn't it?
Not nutty slice bread.
Well, so hello and welcome back to the Shallow Proclamation. My name's Thomas, and as always, I'm joined by
Paul.
and a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, one and all. We thought we'd bosh this out, didn't we?
Yeah, I've not seen it. I've still got some Christmas cake, though.
And I've got a cup of tea. I'm in Bristol at the moment with the family, so sorry I don't have the usual microphone set up, but hopefully you guys can hear me all right.
So I don't know anything about this story. My dad watched it, and he said he said it was great fun, but he wasn't sure why.
Okay.
And I was reasonably impressed by that, because he's been quite negative about Doctor Who since Whittaker.
Okay. Yeah.
And I mean, we were
we were
I've not watched
lukewarm,
this.
weren't we?
Yeah, we're lukewarm. I didn't watch this on Christmas Day because family just talk over it. But also, I wasn't bothered
Right.
because I found the last series to be a little bit underwhelming.
You weren't counting down the days to this episode.
Well, no, and I've avoided. I've not really paid any attention to photos from the set, so I don't know anything about the story. Or I knew what's her face from Bridgerton was in it. That's all I know. Is she's going to be called from now.
Right.
What's her name? Like Nicola Coughlan or something? Or
Yes, it is something like that. Now, this is quite an impressive set, I think.
oh, Lionel Richie. Oh no, it's not Lionel Richie. Hello, is it me you're looking for?
I can see it in your eyes. Oh, what's the newspapers the doctor's holding there? Is
The
it
Times.
The Times? It is. That's quite a nice touch that he's made too.
Did Ruby leave at the end of the last one?
Yeah, she went to be with her mum, didn't she?
I can't really remember now. Like I say, I've not gone
It's
even
really
back
lodged
to it.
itself in your mind, hasn't it?
That's the thing. Any other series of Doctor Who, I probably would have rewatched, but not felt the urge really.
I won't spoil anything, but I'm intrigued to hear your thoughts on this episode. I'll
Okay.
say that much.
I mean, it's a Stephen Moffat, so hoping for positive stuff.
And we quite enjoyed his episode of the Ncuti season, didn't we? Boom.
That boom.
Even if it was a complete attack on the Anglican Church.
I'm pretending to not notice something I really haven't noticed. I haven't perfected a stroke for that.
See it, say it, sorted. You can imagine a classic era story being called The Time Hotel, The Space Museum, The Time Museum, The Time Hotel, Space Babies, Time Babies. Now again, Moffat's very good at this, isn't he? To like observing something strange in everyday life and then making it into a Doctor Who concept. He did it with the cracks in the walls. Yeah, and I like that. Why is there always a closed door in a hotel room that you can't get into?
Weeping angels, just kind of things in the the everyday experience.
Yeah, totally.
I've enjoyed my Christmas cake, so...
Nice. Now, I love how these doors are the doors of the place.
It's a little bit Monsters Inc. as well, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
This is very Moffat, isn't it, to start in the wrong order and revisit?
Yeah. It's like he's just watched Pulp Fiction and been like, yeah, I'll have a go at that. Now, sort of thing with that one, couldn't they just follow him back?
Yeah, there must be. You got to think, how do they get through or not through?
Maybe if you're checked into the hotel, you have a sort of special, like a key card type thing. Now, you see the one the Doctor just walked past? Was that a Hobbit door?
I don't know. I didn't see.
It really does look like a door from the Shire.
Oh, I don't know who the Silurian actor is.
Yeah, that one. Look at that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. I don't know who this guy is, the Silurian.
Yes.
As in, I don't know his name, but I know exactly who the actor is I can tell by his face. Like, he's an actor I've seen in things. Like,
yes. He's been in a lot of Moffat stuff, hasn't he? He was in Sherlock.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know where I've seen him. I'm trying to think, was he in Doctor Who before, though? Yeah, the actor is called Jonathan Arris. But, he's been in lots of things, but...
How can there be two of you?
The Oren, he's the future. He's me after I get the code.
I'm not the future. He is the past. The future is this way. Come on.
No. How does this work? How do I get to be you?
The long way round.
Yes, how long?
You'll find out.
What do I do? Where do I go?
You will find out.
Oh, do you see? This is why nobody likes you. You have to be mysterious all the time. That's why everyone leaves you. That is why you were always alone.
You have to stay here. Complete the loop.
First multi-Doctor Christmas special we've had in a while, isn't it?
Who are you not phoning? You keep looking at the phone, it's very obvious.
That's an old school phone.
Yeah.
Name?
Ruby. Ruby Sunday.
What's the problem with Ruby?
No problem. Just gotta let people get on with their lives.
Yeah. You and me, letting people get on with their lives. For old Lang Syne.
Old friends. Should be working fine now.
Yes, but it seems to be bigger on the inside.
Is it not supposed to be?
Blockage in 28.
Is this armed?
You said you'd fix my sat-nav.
I did.
It doesn't take me where I want to go.
But it takes you where you need to go.
And why is my car blue now?
I quite like this, all his sort of Gallifreyan doodles on the wall.
Yeah.
What are all these?
Reminders of home.
Where'd you get them?
Online, mostly. For some reason, there's loads of them.
I like them.
They like you too. I can tell.
They like you too, what the heck? It almost feels like retro London, doesn't it? But it's meant to be 2024.
Yeah.
With the phone and the radio, and it's almost like this hotel hasn't... Yeah, it's slightly behind, but in a slightly charming way.
Yeah.
I don't usually live like this. One day after the other, in the right order. And I always wondered what it would be like. And you know what it was like? Amazing. And you know why it was amazing? You.
Oh, don't.
A whole year of you. Wow. Everyone who knows you is so lucky. I bet you they tell you that all the time.
Just the once, actually. Just the one guy.
You have to stay here. Complete the loop. It's the only way to get the code. I'm gonna break the connection.
But how did you get the code?
It's a long story. But basically,
I heard myself say it a year ago and I remembered it.
But I can't.
Yeah, bootstrapping, it's weird, I know. I mean, basically the code came from nowhere.
I mean, that was clearly going to be the answer.
The bootstrap paradox. So he gave himself the code. Yeah, it kind of blows your mind to try and think about it, doesn't it?
Wherever there's a corporation, there is PR. They just can't stop themselves. Evil must logo.
Evil must logo.
Vanguard. Biggest arms manufacturer in recorded history. Very old enemies of mine.
Why would a weapons manufacturer want to make?
Yes, we've encountered them before, haven't we?
Hmm.
Were they the ones in Boom?
A little call back to Boom there. Yeah.
Yeah.
The idea of making a star as a power source is very Time Lord-esque.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Consciousness has been uploaded to the Vanguard communication interface.
You're inside the star.
Yes, sir.
Inside the star, inside the briefcase, inside the dinosaur.
But the afterlife has not been without incident, sir.
That is a great line, isn't it?
Has been duplicated.
My family pointed out that this is very Polar Express. No way would that rope be strong enough.
I thought that thing was going to come flying through the whole building and take out everybody. Just be absolutely destroyed. That woman sitting reading Agatha Christie just
Killed
smashed to a
about
pulp.
5 people in the process. And the doctor's like, you do what you can. Moffat.
I was hoping you'd come back to say goodbye. You're very lovely, you know.
Joy. Joy, the star seed.
It's in me now. It's in all of us.
It's like Brian Cox. We all come from billions of stars.
The star seed will bloom. But don't worry, we'll be far from here, deep in the sky. No one will be hurt. You know what? I think I'm saving the world.
Joy, I am supposed to be saving you. I will not allow Vanguard to do this to you, not to any of you.
The Vanguard are nothing. We're far beyond them now.
Listen, you don't understand. Joy, you will burn. You will die.
Be silly. Of course I won't. I'm not dying. I'm changing. I'm saving something beautiful. The flesh will rise, and the star will shine. I will shine. Everywhere and forever. And sometimes, my funny little doctor. And you. Because you need to change too. You need to find a friend. Do that. Go and find one now. I'll be watching.
Oh dear. What are you making of this so far, Paul?
You see? My mum was right, wasn't she? She was right all along. I'm Joy. And I'm going to see her again. And she's going to be with me.
Oh, he's crying. Hey. This is quite... is it too soon?
Right, yeah, of course.
Yeah. It's quite audacious, isn't it, to depict someone dying of COVID in hospital in 2020.
Mm.
Oh, of course. for your joy.
Joy to the world!
Episode title.
Oh, I can't believe he did that. Moffat.
Now, is the trailer for season 2 at the end of this?
There is a trailer. Yes. Yeah.
I haven't seen the trailer, but I knew there'd been one, so I'd seen like posts about it. But so we'll get a look at that.
Yeah, should we give that a watch?
Absolutely.
This is only
That's what the BBC
27
DVD would
seconds,
say.
so it's
it's going to be
one.
rapid fire.
I'll put the volume up a little bit.
Okie doke.
Okay.
See what we got here then.
Enjoy.
There are forces
Joy
beyond this
to the world.
universe. So look into them.
New companion.
Doctor! You need to get me home.
This might be the long way round.
But the games are deadly.
Oh, we got a unit. Oh, nice.
Now that, I think, looks quite enticing. It looks a bit darker tonally.
It does. Does it have Dalek saucers at the beginning?
It's got
And then
sauces
Mrs.
of
Flood?
some kind. I don't know if it's like HP sauce or
Earlier on than that, wasn't it?
this.
Yeah, that's it. And
that is.
oh man, no, I don't think those are
dark.
Dalek saucers. Is that Mrs. Flood in a minute though, as well? I didn't notice. Just
She's not Mrs. Flood.
no.
Ooh, is that her? No.
I wondered whether that was. No, I don't think it is. Can't really tell.
It does look like her.
Doctor! You need to
And now that reminds me a little bit of like the Satan Pit and that.
Those robots, a bit like the two robots that were in Dinosaurs on a Spaceship or something, wasn't it?
Yes.
That were voiced by Mitchell and Webb, weren't they, or something?
Oh yeah. Now that looks
Season
great.
7.
Great concept.
That looks cool. That looks pretty cool, doesn't it?
So yeah, that's quite enticing, I think. From I mean, it's hard to go by a 20-second trailer, but it looks a bit darker, which is what I think the show's been lacking slightly, maybe.
I hope so, because I mean, season 1, like I say, I was a bit series 1, whatever they're calling it now, or season 14 or whatever it should really be, was as I said, a little bit underwhelmed by it, and I felt it was a bit too lightweight and wasn't the return to form that I'd hoped it would be. So, and I was a bit concerned about this series because obviously they filmed it all, hadn't they, before season 1 even came out. So there's no opportunity to respond, react at all to sort of the way things are received. Not that, probably they even do, but
Sure.
tonally, I think you're right, in saying that at least on the trailer, tonally it looks different, but we know trailers can be quite deceptive, but
Yeah.
because again, that looked like only a handful of episodes we saw there. That didn't look like... I mean, back in the day when they hadn't finished filming the seasons before the trailers went out, you often only got, a handful of episodes actually shown in one of the Christmas trailers because the rest weren't complete yet. Obviously slightly different now because those are completed, but it still only looked like most of those things looked like they were from the same kind of couple of episodes. But then again, there were only 8 episodes in the last season, so...
Yeah. And when did it say it's coming out?
I don't know. Normally it's sort of...
2025.
March, April, kind of... Normally Easter time, isn't it? Just after Easter or around Easter time. Yeah. Oh, well, that looks good. I'm quite... I'm up for that, generally.
Yes. So, the Christmas special we just watched, I'd seen it before. You hadn't seen it before. What did you make of it?
I think I quite enjoyed it. It was definitely a step up from most of what the first season brought, I think. I definitely preferred... I thought Ncuti Gatwa's portrayal of the Doctor felt more in step with the Doctor, the way the Doctor's been portrayed in the modern era. I think he worked better without the companion, without Ruby. I mean, I never really warmed to Ruby that much. I found them a bit pally too quickly, and it just never really gelled for me. Not that I've really gone back and looked at it, like I said. So, but yeah, I mean, I think, you know, generally I like the aesthetic of the Time Hotel, the way it looks. I think it looks brilliant. The concept of the Time Hotel is quite good fun. There's lots of kind of classic Moffat-y tropes in there, aren't there? Like the bootstrap paradox and everything being out of order, and what's that going to be there for? And then it comes round and gets explained later. It's nice to see little callbacks to things like Villain Guard. Whether that's building up to be a bigger thing longer term, I don't know, or whether it's just a Moffat thing that he'll keep dropping into some of his stories.
Whenever he comes on to do an episode, he'll mention Villain Guard.
Exactly, you know. Will it be a big thing, or is it just a kind of a little recurring thing he might throw in? Although, in fairness, it's not a background thing in either of those stories, is it? Villain Guard, it's not sort of just a reference to a company. They are pretty much the focus of Boom and Joy to the World there. And some cool moments like the T-Rex and stuff, you know, just in a sense kind of quite silly stuff, but fun and enjoyable for Christmas Day type thing there. I think my favourite thing about the episode, though, was the character of Anita.
Ah, yes. Yeah.
That's actually even though it sort of doesn't really contribute to the story particularly, I guess, like, I mean, was it alluded to at the end there? You know, the doctor said you spent all that time in that hotel room and that's what it shows about you. And then she says, well, you spent all that time there. You know, you stayed there for a year. Like, actually, so I mean, you get the sense, but I mean, you wouldn't have had to had the Anita character for that to have that. But I really like that Anita relationship. I knew she wasn't going to be a companion because with companion had already been revealed kind of in the press quite a long time ago. And we saw her just there in the trailer, who was also in Boom, wasn't she? Of course, as presumably a different character. So I knew she wasn't going to be a companion, but it was quite a nice relationship. And it was kind of a classic kind of thing, wasn't it? Like, you know, she's this person who works at the hotel and, you know, you can tell life hasn't quite worked out for her in some ways. You know, she's stuck in this job and doesn't seem like she has much going on for her, but is actually like a, you know, really lovely person and a good heart. And the doctor, you know, you can tell she's slightly besotted by the doctor and that kind of thing. I really liked that. I thought it was lovely.
Yeah, it felt very Christmas movie, didn't it? In a good way. Yeah.
You know, when he said, like, I can't remember what the exact thing he said was about, you know, something about her being like special or something, you know, lots of people must tell you that. And she said, actually, you know, only one, you know. Yeah, I thought that was really nicely done. It was really nicely portrayed, really nicely written. I mean, overall, it's pretty decent as a Christmas episode. I mean, I'm not sure about the ending there. Like, not just the suddenly she became a star and sucked her mum up into the star. I don't know.
What was that?
I mean, it's probably best. On a Christmas episode, I look at that kind of thing and I go, it's just Christmas Day magic.
It's sort of anything goes.
Anything goes. Best not to think too hard about that, because really that ending, that conclusion to it is it's just nonsense, really, isn't it? So I was kind of hoping for a bit more of a proper resolution to the whole thing, with maybe a reveal of a big bad or a villain in some way, more of a villain as opposed to just Villain Guard.
Yeah,
but
because we have Mrs. Flood in the snow at the end of the Legend of it was the one after the finale,
Empire of Death,
and that was it. Sort of set it up that she was going to be in the Christmas special, but she wasn't. Yeah, I think I completely agree with you. I think it was a fun episode. As I say, I feel like the concept, it feels like it's straight out of the classic era, and there were some nicely observed moments. Yeah, the concept of the Doctor having to stay in a hotel room for a year and not really do anything and just live an ordinary life, that was quite nicely done. And even like the toy TARDISes, and when he's like Yeah, I just got them on the internet. There are loads of them for some reason. That was just quite a nice
meta thing. Yeah,
touch.
yeah.
But I don't know what he was thinking with the ending. I mean, because I don't think we commented on it, but there's a line earlier in the episode in the hotel when the Doctor looks around at all the time rooms and he's like, that's why there was no room in the inn at the first Christmas. And I thought, that's quite a clever reference, and the implication is that loads of tourists have gone back to Bethlehem and taken all the rooms, and that's why there's no room in the inn. So it sort of felt like it was commenting on it obliquely. And then it goes on to basically provide the origin story for the Star of Bethlehem. And like because there's that old stone doorway thing that they walk through, and the Doctor's like, there's a psychic field around here, and that's responsible for creating lots of religions. And I was yeah. Moffat. So is he just saying it's sort of a trick of the mind kind of thing? And I don't know. He's clearly. Yeah, he's critiquing kind of. He's got a lot of issues with organised religion, clearly, and he's sort of using each episode he does to kind of comment on that in some way. But yeah, if you look at, I just don't really know what to make of it. Like, it's profoundly depressing, isn't it? When she's like, "Oh, we don't die, we just change, and we just sort of become these stars." And you're like, it's actually. Yeah, I feel like it's presented as a very happy ending, but I don't think it is.
No.
It's actually quite nihilistic, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, very much so. It's the thing that sounds quite poetic, on a piece of paper, doesn't it? Or on the screen.
Yeah. They say, don't they? Don't mess with the original. And maybe the original, I think the original Christmas Story is better.
I mean, it's certainly endured. I'll give it that.
Yes.
But
the whole line, the star seed will bloom and the flesh will rise. Someone posted in our Discord that was quite an interesting line. Is that a kind of reference to resurrection or something? Moffat's episodes do often have a kind of spiritual element, and some of them have been quite powerful. I think some of his Christmas special was the Christmas Carol one and the World War One trenches with Mark Gatiss. That was a really good episode, I thought. And that was multi-Doctor, wasn't it? But
so what did it mean that the flesh will rise? What was the?
Yeah,
because I thought and it was going to be sort of this huge. I wondered initially whether this was going to be creation, that like this is going to be this huge explosion and this is going to be the Big Bang, although the show's done that so many times in different ways now that, I wondered, and that, flesh will arise from this. But I don't know, like, the line itself felt a bit like, even though it wasn't related to it, the way it was delivered reminded me a bit of... like the Satan pit in the Impossible Planet, the beast will rise from the pit. The beast and his armies will rise from the pit to make war on God. Whatever it said. Like it was delivered very much in that way. So it felt it had more of the delivery of those lines felt like it had a greater depth to it than perhaps we got in the end, where it was just like in the end. I'll tell you what it reminded me of actually. That bit with the star, like in her. It reminded me a bit of like Super Mario Galaxy, with like and then she floats up into the sky.
Yeah,
and she becomes a star.
It was a bit twee, wasn't it? That moment.
Yes. Yeah.
Moffat seems to kind of flip between like really kind of saccharine, sweet, kind of cheesy, and also like very serious, kind of cosmic social commentary. Theology. It kind of works for some episodes. I think. I don't think it quite landed in this episode, although I did love a lot about this episode.
It's tricky, isn't it? Because I think it's on a Christmas Day episode. Obviously, we always used to. When I think about a Christmas Day episode, you're thinking of it being a load of froth and nonsense, basically, because most people are going to sit down and watch it on Christmas Day.
Yeah,
they've eaten too much, they've drunk too much. You don't want people to have to think too hard, and so it just needs to be something that makes people go, "Oh, that was quite good fun," and I might watch that I watched the trailer, and I might come back and watch the rest of it. It does smack a little bit, like the ending. I think smacks a little bit of like, when you've written. I mean, I say you or I'm using it as a general you.
Sure.
Someone has written quite a good, compelling story, but doesn't quite know how to really make an ending for it, and they just go for like, oh, we'll just do some Christmassy magic, and they'll float off, and they'll have some space stardust, Christmas magic dust.
It's kind of paint by numbers at that point, isn't it?
Yeah, and that feels a little bit lackluster. At that point, you kind of think, well, you could have, if there was what you're hoping for at that point is a really solid ending that doesn't just resort to Christmas magic kind of, because the classic era probably would never have done that kind of thing. And in the end, it was just Christmas magic.
And incidentally, a Merry Christmas to you too.
So yeah, I think it's a shame that it doesn't really land. It doesn't really land anywhere of any great, of any great kind of depth.
Yeah.
But again, it's Christmas, so you kind of expect it in some ways.
Yeah.
But I would say, generally, though, how would I compare it to the first season? Apart from 1 or 2 episodes in the first season, such as the one where Sutek is revealed and maybe 73 yards, which for the large part was great, and there's probably a couple of others. I generally see this as a positive, step in the right direction. I certainly enjoyed it. I wasn't sitting through it thinking like, oh no, like I was in some bits in the previous season.
Space babies.
The opener.
Yeah, and I have to say that next time trailer. I mean, again, I know it's very little to go on, but from what I saw of that, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm cautiously excited about this new season.
Yeah, cautiously optimistic is.
Yeah,
and I'm always optimistic. That's the thing. Like, generally, I mean, apart, I don't know, maybe certain eras ground me down, but I'm always coming into a new era of the show or a new episode thinking, I really hope it's good.
Yeah,
I want it to be, and because I know there is, because fandom, Doctor Who fandom is pretty toxic at the best of times, even in the pre-internet days. But of course, you do get people who dislike a certain era or a certain doctor or writer or whatever it is, and so basically they will just hate it regardless.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. And I'm certainly not in that camp. I didn't enjoy, I didn't enjoy the Whittaker era. But that didn't mean that every time there was a new season or a new story, I wasn't coming into it going like, oh, this is going to be rubbish. I was always hoping like, oh, I hope this is going to be a step up. I hope this is going to be better. I hope I'm going to enjoy this. And then obviously when Russell T Davies came back, I was thinking, wow, really hoping this is going to be great. And I was coming into, I mean, we had the 60th, or no, it wasn't the 60th. Yeah, it was 60th anniversary specials, wasn't it? Which I thought generally were good. Really enjoyed those. And then looking forward to the season. And for me, the season didn't quite deliver in the way I'd have liked it to. It was a bit of a letdown. Not awful, but certainly not the glory days of Russell T Davies as I remember them. But this feels so. But this felt better.
Yeah. I think I agree. I think it's hopefully. I'm hoping this next season it will have found its feet, maybe a bit. But we shall see. Yeah, will be interesting to see where it goes. And obviously, it's going to be a new. Got a new companion, although it looks like I think there may be some featuring of Ruby still. But we've got a new companion, so it's going to change the dynamic again. So be interesting to see. And the stuff with Mrs. Flood was some of the stuff that I found most interesting and intriguing in the last season. Obviously, it really was just sowing seeds at that point. Star seeds. But it certainly got me intrigued. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to seeing if we get a bit more of that, whether it will pay off in season 2 or whether it's a longer thing. Or, again, I'm sure regardless of whether it's a longer thing, even if it is, we'll certainly get more things kind of teased out. So I look forward to that because I think that's where the show excels, when it has those bigger overarching things that are constantly being drip fed
up to something bigger. Yeah.
Yeah, and the making of this episode is quite fun to watch as well. You can see how they did the tilting platform for the dinosaur and various other tidbits. So
that reminded me a little bit of Jaws. You know, when the shark leaps onto the boat and Quint slides down the deck.
That would be a sad end for the Doctor, wouldn't it?
Yeah, the Doctor
regenerates inside a dinosaur's gullet.
Oh dear! But no, I thought it was good, and yeah. I mean, what did your family make of it? Are your family Doctor Who fans, or were they less bothered? Or
we were all like very into it at the time of David Tennant's first era. And then have kept up with it to varying degrees since. But we're all, every time there's a Doctor Who Christmas special, we'll all watch it, basically.
Yeah.
I think, mixed reactions. I think some of us found it a bit too hard to follow in places. Some of us were just sort of slightly baffled by it, or that it was... But yeah, overall, like it was perfectly entertaining Christmas viewing. I have to say, having watched it a second time, I think I enjoyed it more on second viewing.
Right. I can see, although I said it's classic Moffat tropes, the stuff out of order. I can see how that might backfire on Christmas Day, because even in a season when it's not Christmas Day, you still get people going, oh, I don't understand this bit. How did they get there, or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And it is generally always explained, but you kind of have to be paying attention to understand, like, that's the future him. He's gone back, or he's come back round in a loop. And for me, as someone versed in this stuff, it's relatively easy to follow. But I'm just thinking of sitting there watching it on Christmas Day, where inevitably you've got someone who keeps talking over it and asking inane questions the whole time.
Yes.
I can see how some people might have gone, oh, I didn't really understand that. But particularly on Christmas after a couple of sherries, but
bootstrap paradox, of course.
Yeah. So, but
we watched Inception the next day, so it was quite a timey-wimey Christmas.
Timey-wimey Christmas. That would be a good name for a Christmas special. Timey-wimey Christmas.
A very timey-wimey Christmas.
Simply having a wonderful Christmas timey-wimey.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. Well, let us know what you think, ladies and gents, in the comments. And do join our Discord if you haven't already. Link in the description, and you continue these conversations in there. And we have a Patreon as well. So if you want to watch this episode with our full commentary track and get some little extra bits and pieces, you can check that out. Again, link in the description. But yeah, thanks so much for joining us. This may be our last video that goes out before New Year, but we shall see. But if it is, Happy New Year, and lots of great content coming up in the new year. Finishing, I imagine we'll finish Pertwee in 2025, which is a big thought.
I thought so, yeah. Well, Happy New Year, everybody. So we'll see you in 2025.
And incidentally, a Merry Christmas to you.